But before I leave, Wayne, there's a discussion, and I'm not sure how much you are aware of it, or yeah, I'm sure you'll have your own thoughts. And the question is, who is the reigning king of dancehall? I thought it was a settled decision. For many years, we heard Beatman as, he was proclaimed as the king of dancehall. For people who grew up in the 70s and 80s, they would say, well, the only king are King Yellow.
Yes, the original king,
Yeah.
yellow.
And those growing up in this era who love and appreciate, all the big superstars, the Massacres, the Valiant, the Cartel. A lot of people, those folks are saying, well, Cartel is the real king of dancehall. The man was in prison for over 13 years and he dominated the charts while behind bars. And he's out now and he had this big, massive concert at the National Stadium. So some of those folks are saying it's Cartel. And I say the best way to resolve this issue is to put it in eras. So if you're talking about the 70s and 80s, then it's easy to say Yellow Man was the king of dancehall back then. If you look at the 90s to 2000s, then a lot of people would agree that Beenie Man was the king of dancehall. And for those people who are talking about currently, well, a lot of people say Cartel. So it's easy to make a determination. But if you don't want to break it in category, in eras, and you're just looking on what qualifies someone
Right.
to be
Yes. Let's
classified
look at
as the
that.
king.
Yeah.
And I was talking to a friend of mine, and this is something that we discussed, I think it was from last year. And we came up with 7 criteria to determine the king of the dancehall. Because without these criteria, then it's just your passion, who you're passionate about, who
Right.
you're fond of,
We need
and all of
criteria.
it.
Yes.
Yes, if you're going to have polls, you can't say who is the president of the United States without having a vote off, and
Right.
it can't be based on just I love this one or I love that one. They have to have criteria, and based on the criteria, you make that determination. So the 7 criteria that we came up with, the first one is international success, right? And when I look at the 3 people in contention, and we can go through them one at a time. I know we have 4 minutes, but we go through them one at a time. International success. Of all the 3 names that I mentioned, who would you say had the most international success?
International success. Oh man.
And
Yellow Man quietly had a lot going on around the globe, And I know
mm,
Vibes Cartel actually was doing great around the world too up to the time he was locked up. So,
mm.
ooh,
Well, when I say international success, I'm talking about hits, international hit songs, maybe Grammy Awards or any a mobile award, or just having a presence in the international space. If you just walk up to somebody who don't know anything about Jamaica, well, they're not from Jamaica, and say, I'm offering you these 3 names. Which one you know, or who you would say is the most popular? So when I talk about international success, I'm talking about that sort of stuff,
Anthony,
having
I'll leave
appearance
you
on
to
TV.
I'll leave it to you today. I give
All
up
right,
already.
all right. So in of the 3 names, I would say Beenie Man. I'd give it to Beenie Man without any discussion,
International
right?
success. Okay, I'm taking
Grammy,
notes.
winning Grammy, having hit songs, did collabs with big international stars, and just having a presence in
Yeah.
the space, international space.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If we talk about hit songs, and now I'm breaking it down to hit songs in Jamaica, because we already classified
Oh, the
international hits.
international.
So
Okay.
we're talking about in the Jamaican space. And I mean, all 3 had major success, but let me even say, boy, let me give it to Cartel, because he had a long period, that 13 years that he was incarcerated, and he was dominating the space before he even went to prison. And now that he's out, he has Comet, and he's still putting out songs. So let's give it to him. Now, if you talk about live stage performance, uh, looking, having been a part of all 3 eras, the Yellow Man, the Beanie Man, and Cartel currently, I would give it to Beanie Man. Yellow during his time was really, really very, very good. But having Beanie Man has dominated the live stage for a long, long time. So let me give it to him. If you're talking about influence, pop culture influence, I think I would give it to Cartel. If you talk about generational influence, having you know the grandmother, the mother, the daughter, and granddaughter, and all those generations can agree to say, well, yeah, man, this one is dominating. I would definitely go Beanie Man again because Cartel definitely influence and have he definitely has the younger generation. But if you go to the grandmother, she'll say Cartel, who name Cartel? Or no, some I listen to them that music. So I would go with Beanie Man.
There you go.
If you talk about artist development, somebody
Mm-hmm.
who has really helped to bust other artists. The only other artist I could bring into the conversation is Bounty Killer because I
Yes.
don't remember Yellow Man really. I mean, you had
They never
you know
yeah,
really
continue.
bust nobody. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
and Beat Man definitely not bust nobody. So he's not even in the conversation. So mother have to say Bounty. And if you talk about on-stage battle, being able to go up against another DJ, definitely Beat Man. Cartel, he had a couple of battles and I don't think he actually won. The Movada one, there was no fair decision. When he went up against, uh, I think it was Ninja Man, there was some altercation. Beanie Man, I think he has dominated that space. So when I look at the criteria, it still comes back down to Beanie Man as the king of dancehall. So I just wanted to leave it there.
Anthony, how can I question such an analysis? You took it to criterion, and the criterion say Beanie Man. So that's after Beanie Man.